But even within the African American community, the activists there are not synergized, are not motivated, and are not articulating themselves in a way that ensures that every single African American knows what is the African American agenda. Is it fighting for reparations? Is it creating a nation within the United States which will be semi-autonomous, like maybe what you have in Hong Kong, maybe what you have in Taiwan? You have a semi-autonomous government, you have them running their own issues, you have them having their own police force. That could work. You could maybe have an issue which would be much more complex, which would be moving back to Africa, which isn't impossible. It's just a bit more complex. So I think even within the African American community, if we, us, I don't know if I can say us because I don't know if African Americans would consider me even in that conversation. But if you want to change the community, you want to change and be represented, you need to know what you want to do. Like I said, do you want reparations? Do you want your own state? Do you want a semi-autonomous state? Do you want to go back to Africa? But at least have groups and have people, have leaders who are competent enough to lead you in this direction, and you know what you're going to do moving forward. Because I'm tired of seeing African Americans also be reactionary instead of being preemptive. Be angry the government does not represent them, instead of having ways to ensure that you have your own representatives of your own communities. Investing in African American owned businesses. These are things and discussions that need to be had. I'm not saying what I'm saying is the answer to all the problems that exist. I'm not saying, but these are just thoughts, my own perspective, my own thinking, my own, whatever. These conversations need to be had. And they need to be had in a civil manner. We can't complain about in a civil and in a fair manner. We can't complain about racism or white supremacy and then try and adapt black supremacist thoughts. Like, you can't be an activist of African rights if your wife or your partner isn't African. Like, that is stupid, because now you're doing what white people did when they were colonizing African colonies, or when they were, even though they still are, but when they were more oppressive towards African Americans. That this is exactly going back to the point earlier, where you have leaders becoming the enemies that they once fought against. If you want to have equality, if you want to have freedom, you must uphold those values of equality and freedom.